Is obtaining a Milsurp from a big auction house like Rock Island or Poulin really worth it? I got a couple Polish rifles from Rock Island a couple years ago, and I talked about it on a previous video, and I was very happy with it because one, I kind of wanted the Polish rifles really bad, and two, I didn't do too bad on it once it was in my hands. And I went ahead and did a Poulin auction here recently, and I'm going to talk about my experience here. Now, I've got probably about a third of my collection off proxy bid auctions. Many of the smaller auction houses either go through just proxy bid or high bid, whereas Poulin's, Rock Island, they have their own website. When you do look up Milsurps through proxy bid, it's very advantageous if you look at these auction houses to see if they have their own bidding website, because it's about 5 to 6% less buyer's fee when you going through their site as opposed to going through proxy bid or high bid. And Poulin, since they're one of the bigger auction houses in the country, on par with Rock Island, they have their own site, and you want to bid through their site, not proxy bid or high bid. What interested me, I've kind of been in a little Japanese kick lately. I noticed there was a Mexican contract Arisaka on Poulin's auctions and 7mm Mauser, so I kept an eye on that. It went a lot higher than I wanted it to, so I didn't even end up bidding on that. There was a Type 30, which I'm still kind of looking to get. Hopefully I'll get one soon. In my head, I think, with the 22% buyer's fee, but you also could consider taxes, shipping, and if you go to an FFL, you got to consider that in there. So I was thinking in my head 33%, or just a third again to make the math a little more simple. And the Type 30, I think, went in the 900 range on a hammer price, so that was a lot more. The most I'd want to pay for a good Type 30 is 900 in my hands. But I kept looking, and there was a nice little Type 38 Cavalry Carbine on there, and so it wasn't going very high, so I kept an eye on it, and I actually bid on it, and I won it. It's I paid $475 hammer price. Now, in a bit here, I'll go over detailed how much this actually cost me in my hands and whether I was correct on my 33% guess or not. Talking about the carbine a little bit, as I said, I've kind of been in a little Japanese kick lately. I got this Type 38 long boy at a Leavenworth military show here recently. I was happy with that. Got a pretty good deal on that, I think. The Type 38 carbine, I'm not one of those guys who can look at the symbols and tell you, what series, where it was made at. I have to look in Duncan McCollum's book to know. But this was Nagoya Arsenal. It says 4th series on it. About the only thing I really know to look for, is the condition of the mum, because as they say, the mum's worth half the price of the rifle. And then I also looked at, I know what the symbol is for training rifles, so you kind of avoid that unless you're specifically looking for a training rifle. And then I kind of know the Japanese numbers for 38, 44, 99. Know how to tell the difference on those. So anyway, as I said, this 5th series Nagoya, these Cavalry Carbines, in the late 30s, they were kind of chopped down from the long boys at Nagoya, and as you can see, they made them the same size as the Type 44. So the ones that they chopped down at Nagoya, the series and serial numbers can be all over the place on those. But let's go over how much it cost me to get into my hands and whether I was correct on my 33% guess. So as I said, I paid $475 hammer price, and that would mean that it would have been around $630 in my hands if I was going a third again. But let's just go over what I paid. I paid a 22% buyer's fee since I bid on their website, so that was $104 extra. Taxes were $32, so that was $611 before shipping. Shipping was $69, nice. So that ended up with $680, and then I paid $20 for a transfer fee because I don't have a CNR. Even if I did have a CNR, I'd probably still send it to my FFL just because the whole sign for the package thing. So this was in my hands for $700. So that was quite a bit off from my 33% guess. It was actually, you had to add 47 to 48% to get the correct amount carbine in my hands from the hammer price. Now, how did I do relative to the market? Well, the best thing on the market you can do is look at the sold items on Gunbroker. They're kind of all over the place. You know, there was a couple that were, you know, $1,100 that didn't sell. The ones that did sell, the lowest I believe I've seen was $355 before Gunbroker fees. Now, you know, you got to keep in mind Gunbroker now has fees, taxes, plus shipping. So, you know, that was probably in their hands for, you know, a little over $500, depending on how much their FFL charged. But most of them I seen in Gunbroker, the ending bid price was, you know, anywhere from $600 to $700. So in their hands, you know, they paid $700 to $800. So I got this for about market price. So are the big auction houses really worth it? If there's something you desire that's fairly rare, or you're not going to find them at a gun show or at a normal auction, the big auction houses are the place to go. Granted, you have, you know, a lot of bidders there, like especially Rock Island. You know, you have a room full of bidders there, and bidders not only on their website, but they're on both proxy bid and high bid. So, you know, as you're watching the top price leading up to the auction, you know, you have to look at all three sites to you know, figure out what the top bid is, and that's kind of annoying. For lower end items, I mean, you're not going to get below market at one of these big auction houses. But, you know, these big auction houses are pretty good for higher end stuff. You know, if you're looking for it but you're still not going to get below market on it. Hopefully I don't have to go to them to get my G41 eventually. That's just kind of my thoughts, you know, my experience dealing with Poulin. I mean, I'm happy with the rifle I got. You know, again, I paid about market on it, so, you know, I didn't get a banging deal on it or anything. Have you dealt with one of the auction houses? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see my Rock Island experience, click over here. Otherwise, please join the GOA. Get a link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.